What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Connor Hughes MMA channel. And today we are going to be breaking down the fight card that takes place tomorrow night at the Apex. Kody Salkilld is getting his first main event versus Mateusz Gamrot. It's not the best card, but at the end of the day, it is an Apex card. So that's what we get. First fight on the card, we have two Brazilian debutantes going at it in Gigi Canuto and Carol Foro. I believe Carol Foro has 6 first-round finishes, whereas Canuto only has 5. But I believe Carol Foro has faced the better competition throughout her early career. She's also on a 7-fight win streak currently, and I believe her first loss really taught her a lot, and she is very powerful for women's strawweight. She has 7 first-round knockouts, which is super impressive. And she's a big favorite in this fight, so I'm going to be going with the odds makers. But I think she gets this done by knockout in round 2. Next fight on the card, Juliana Miller versus Ravina Oliveira. Now, Juliana Miller coming off the loss against Carly Judice, and Ravina Oliveira is coming off of a loss against, I believe, what's her name? Is it Julia Dyer? She fought someone with the last name Dyer. I can't remember if her first name's Julia, or I'm mixing it up because she's fighting Juliana. Both of these women are terrible. As you can see, Julia Miller 5-4 in her career, and Ravina Oliveira 7-4-1. And they have Juliana Miller as a favorite. I don't know why. I don't really care about this fight. Just literal fight slop is what this is. This would be considered Apex slop. I'm going to take Juliana Miller by terrible decision next fight. Can I not make this bigger? Okay, cool. Sick company. Next fight on the card, Miles Johns versus Gianni Vasquez. I think Miles Johns should be a bit more of a favorite in this fight than he currently is. I think that while he is coming off of a loss, I still think that Gianni Vasquez is not UFC level. He got done bad by Farid Basharat or Javid Basharat. I can't remember which one's which. But me personally, I would have Miles Johns closer to a -175 to -190 favorite. So in this fight, I'm going to be picking him by split decision. I see Vasquez being able to land shots that cut open Miles Johns that might skew one of the judges towards giving him rounds 1 and 3. I think round 2 is Miles Johns' always best round pretty consistently. I feel like he's able to find himself, finally get comfortable while still having the ability for his cardio is still there. So I'm going to be picking Miles Johns in this fight by split decision or 29-28 decision. Next fight, Manuel Souza versus Richie Miranda. Manuel Souza is coming off a win against Balaji Oki, and I believe that this is Richie Miranda's debut. Both of these guys only one loss in their career. The only thing is, I think Manuel Souza has beat guys that truly are UFC level, which makes it super tough to pick against him in someone's debut. The only thing that I really like about Richie Miranda, he's super fast with a long reach, and I think he's going to be able to find openings on Manuel Souza in this fight. I just think the physicality difference Manuel Souza is going to take over as the fight goes on. And I believe he's going to get a submission victory by arm triangle in round 3. Mate, Louis fucking Sutherland. Louis Sutherland's going to beat this blob. God damn, he's such an interesting build. Louis Sutherland coming off of a short notice win against Tai Tuivasa. That doesn't say much anyway. But Louis Sutherland is capable on the ground and very very good at jiu-jitsu. I believe he was one of England's first like heavyweight black belts or something like that, or he has like jiu-jitsu, like a really good jiu-jitsu background. And I believe that Jose Montana da Silva is going to be willing to grapple with Louis Sutherland, and I just believe Louis Sutherland is too good on the ground, and I believe he's going to be able to find a submission. I think it's going to either be like a leg lock, or some like just fat scramble, rear naked choke, guillotine. Not guillotine, definitely not that. He's too fat. Maybe like not a try. They only got really like 3 submissions at heavyweight: leg lock, rear naked choke, and like sit on them. So I think Louis Sutherland's gonna win this fight by sitting on Jose Montana da Silva in the first round. Next fight on the card: Dr. Nergoje. Gotta be careful with that one. Versus Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez is coming off a really bad loss. Or not bad loss, a bad beating. Obviously, Navajo Sterling's a really good fighter. I'm not saying it was a bad loss because of who he lost. I'm saying it was bad because of how badly he was beaten up. And for Dr. Nergoje, I'm going to just... Dr. Is coming off an impressive win. And I just think that... he's going to be too much for Bruno Lopez. I believe Bruno Lopez shies away from a bunch of the exchanges on the feet, and he wants to get his opponent to the ground. But I believe for Dr, it's just going to be there's going to be a slower pace fight, and I believe he's going to be able to find something pretty early that rocks Bruno Lopez. And I think by the second round, Bruno Lopez will have taken a lot of damage. And I think it'll be a 30-27 decision for Dr. Next fight on the card: Maximum Hollowweight versus Guilherme Pat. What are the odds on this fight? Okay, good. Or not good. I guess I'd rather the other guy be favored because I think Steven Asplund is gonna really show levels in this fight. While he does literally look like if he went like this, he could like paraglide just with his like skin folds. But aside from all that, Guilherme Pat looks to have staph infection or a third nipple. We'll see come fight night. But I think Steven Asplund, he's what we call a cardio blob. He is going to be throwing hands the entire time in kind of a Nick Diaz fashion. He's not throwing bombs as most heavyweights are to try and knock you out. He's trying to land volume to the point where it starts to wear on you. And because he's lost so much weight, he's used to carrying around like 500 pounds back in the day. So for him now to be 261, he probably feels like a teenager with how fast he feels again. And I think he's going to be the much faster guy in this fight after round 1. I think Guilherme Pat is going to... I think the first round is very scary for Steven Asplund because of the power of Guilherme Pat. But after the first round, I believe if Guilherme Pat doesn't knock him out even in the first round, I believe the amount of pitter-patter shots that Asplund will land is going to bother Guilherme Pat. I believe it's going to cause swelling. I think he can probably break Guilherme's nose. And I also think Asplund against the cage is willing to go to body shots. And I think that really wears on heavyweights. So I'm going to be picking Steven Asplund in this fight by decision, 29-28. I think this is going to be a super entertaining heavyweight fight because Steven Asplund goes to war, man. His last fight was against... Who was the last? It was against that dude who looks like he's on steroids. Yeah, Vitor Petrino. Like, that's a super hard fight in your second UFC fight, especially as like a former morbidly obese guy. For him to be able to go 15 minutes with someone as good, who I think Vitor Petrino is extremely good, and I thought that fight could have gone Asplund's way, if I'm remembering it correctly. But the other thing with Asplund is his mindset. Yeah, he just lost to Vitor Petrino. Goes over to yo, let's get drunk tonight. He seems like there's no ill will in any of his fights. It just seems like a guy who's incredibly happy to be here and is willing to use all of his opportunities. So I'm going to be picking Steven Aspinall in this fight by unanimous decision. Finally, Ty Thriller Miller has returned. This guy had a absolute clinic on his last fight a couple months ago, and I was like, where the hell is he? Because he didn't take much damage. Poor Billy Ray Goff is going to get his shit kicked in. Ty Miller is going to be the much larger guy in this fight, and I believe this is just a lamb to the slaughter. This is going to be, if only this was on like a card that people were going to be in the arena for, I think it would definitely help the stock of Ty Miller. But since it's in the Apex, I believe he's going to get a flashy knockout that doesn't get the highlight recognition it deserves. But I think Ty Miller is going to get this done in round 1 by a brutal knockout of Billy Ray Goff. Next fight on the card. You light my fire. I'm hearing that song in the background. Amanda Lemos is as Jesus stutter. I gotta lock in. Amanda Lemos is as washed as it gets. Alexia Tainara is coming off a nice win streak. I believe Amanda Lemos is just too far past her prime. While I do believe her grappling might give Tainara some issues, I believe the just pure physicality advantage of Alexia Tainara is truly going to show in this fight, and I believe Tainara is going to get this fight done within 2 rounds by rear naked choke. I believe she's just going to out physical Amanda Lemos, which is huge in WMMA. I don't know why Darren Elkins is back. Yadier Del Valle coming off a loss. And I believe he was the one that had like the rigged fight. Not that he rigged it. His like opponent like just threw the fight. But yeah, this is a full setup fight for Yadier Del Valle to do a lot of damage to Darren Elkins. I hope for the safety of Darren Elkins, he gets knocked out with the first punch. Because if he stays conscious this entire time, it's going to be a long, sustained beating that's going to be very tough to watch. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick Yadier Del Valle by knockout in the second round, probably due to referee stoppage just from damage. Next fight on the card, Diego Ferreira versus Billy Quarantillo. This is a super interesting fight. Billy Quarantillo is coming off a loss to Cub Swanson, and Diego Ferreira looks like he's mid-60s. It's kind of insane to me that this is a co-main event in the year 2026. I think that Ty Miller would have been better off being the co-main event, or Steven Aspinall. I just don't see any star power in this fight, but I do believe that Billy Quarantillo, I believe that he's just the younger, more well-rounded fighter, and I just believe it's over the edge for Diego Ferreira. I think this one's going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad. Billy Quarantillo by first round knockout with a uppercut. I just don't think Diego Ferreira has the chin, the speed. He's a small lightweight. Billy Quarantillo is coming up from featherweight, where I believe he's going to have the lighter man skill. I think this is just going to be... I really like betting on Billy Quarantillo here, especially with the odds the way they are. Next fight on the card, Mateusz Gamrot versus Quillen, the inventor of sex, Salkilld. A lot of people that I've seen are picking Gamrot in this fight. And while I do understand where they're coming from, because they're like, oh, Quillen's never fought a grappler like Gamrot, and Quillen has never been 5 rounds, those people would actually be wrong. Quillen Salkilld in Internal MMA, I think, had 2 5-round fights, and I believe in the championship rounds in both fight, Both fights, I believe he truly turned it on and outclassed his opponent in the final 2 rounds. And especially, there's just momentum behind Kody Salkilld right now. He has potential to be a huge star, especially in Australia. He seems to have great personality. He seems to be a very funny, quick-witted guy. But on the other side of the cage is Mateusz Gamrot. Mateusz Gamrot is a really tough fight. For anybody. He beat Arman Tsarukyan. He got robbed against Dan Hooker. He kind of got ragdolled by Charles Oliveira. But there's so many fights that Gamrot has had in his career where you think like someone who is a striker is going to struggle, and that's what many people believe Kody Salkilld is, that he's just like a striker. Kody Salkilld is also a very, very good grappler. In his fight against Yanal Ashmouz, that fight was, I'd say, 60% grappling, and I thought Salkilld absolutely dominated that fight against someone who had arguably better grappling background than him. But there's something with Salkilld that he shows improvement in every fight, whether it be his ability to learn from previous fights. Against the Yanal Ashmouz, he struggled to get at range for his kicks, and a lot of his kicks were hitting the arms of Yanal Ashmouz when they were standing. And then you noticed in the Nasrat Haqparast fight, right as he's about to throw the head kick, he has it, he waits, and he realizes, oh, he's now in range. He throws it up, and it got around the hand of Haqparast. And in a bunch of his fights, people have questioned him getting knocked down by Beneil Dariush was pretty funny, I will say. Whoops. But even like that, it was like the Jan Blachowicz-Navajo-Sterling knockdown, where he was just caught off balance and with a shot he wasn't expecting. That's not a shot that's going to put him out. But in this fight, if that does happen, I believe if he were to get caught like that against a guy like Gamrot, it's going to be tough to get back up. But I believe that Kody Salkilld is a future. I believe that Gamrot does extremely well with everybody who's not in like the top 5, and people that are like outside, just borderline top 10. He beats. This is interesting because on one hand, I don't know if Kody Salkilld is going to be a perennial top 5 guy in the lightweight division, but I also know from watching his skill set that he is better than being 6 through 10. So I think round 1, I think it's going to be tough. I think because they're both going to be dry. I think Salkild's going to try and stay on the outside, try and land some body kicks and some big shots that'll maybe slow Gamrot down. But in the first round, I believe that if they're both dry and Gamrot is able to get a takedown, it might be better for Quillen to just focus on staying, on not getting submitted rather than getting back up, because Gamrot has elite wrestling. He doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu. I believe that Salkild's jiu-jitsu might arguably be better than Gamrot's. And for me, especially as someone who likes to bet a little money on the UFC fights, I might wait until Gamrot lands that first takedown to bet on Kody Salkilld, because my mindset is a lot of people are going to be thinking, especially in this fight, if Gamrot gets him down, he's just going to hold him there. Each round starts on the feet. Each round, these guys get sweatier. And I also think that Kody Salkild's corner is not Kody Salkild's corner. Kody Salkild's kicks. I don't know why I said corner. I believe his kicks will cause a problem as the fight goes on. I believe you're going to start to see a big red welt on the body of Gamrot. And I think that Salkilld is going to get this done. I believe he's going to lose the first round, take the next 3, and then lose the 5th. I think he's going to win this fight by 48-47 decision. But I do believe one scorecard will read 49-46 in his favor. I just think that I think he's better than Dan Hooker, who beat Gamrot. I think he's a lot better than Dan Hooker, actually. And obviously I don't think he's better than Arman Tsarukyan, but I also didn't think Arman Tsarukyan lost that fight. I thought that was not a robbery, but I thought it should have gone to Arman, but I could see it going to Gamrot. So in this fight, I'm going to be taking Salkilld by decision. But my bet will be on his money line, and especially if the odds flip after the first round, depending on how bad he gets held down. Like if he literally can't move and is just taking Drickus level ground and pound in round 1. Because what I don't know if I've explained this before, but there is a difference. Getting held down and allowing a guy to just manhandle you. While you don't use a lot of cardio, neither do they, and you use more because there's a guy on top of you. Even if you're trying to scramble, them having to react to your scramble, and try and beat you to the punch, George St. Pierre talks about this. It makes your nervous system work. While it doesn't make your body work, it still does cause an effect later in the cardio. So I believe this fight will be going to Salkilld. And also, I will have a video up later as well discussing the recent fights made for UFC 331. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.